Okay, so my current focus is creation and evolution. No matter whether you realize it or not, every day you evolve. Every day you create. You create in thought.
That is a clip from a live video from XXXTentacion, and we will be seeing more of him a bit further down on the list. Hey guys, I'm Court McGinley, and let's get right into our list of the top 5 rappers who passed away too soon. Coming in at our number 5 spot, Eazy-E. Eazy-E was an American rapper who was a solo artist and also a member of the hip-hop group NWA. During his time in the spotlight, he was referred to as the godfather of gangsta rap. He died on March 26, 1995 at only 30 years old due to complications with AIDS. So the backstory for this is as followed. On February 24th, 1995, Eazy-E was admitted to a medical center in LA. He was having trouble breathing and thought it could be asthma due to a reoccurring cough that he had since July 1994. So he had had this cough for 7 months before getting it checked out. Instead of being diagnosed with asthma, to his disbelief, he was diagnosed with AIDS. He went public with this illness the following month on March 16th. Doctors believe he contracted the infection from a sexual partner. And then 10 days later, 1 month after being diagnosed, he died due to complications. Over 3,000 people attended the funeral. He was buried in a gold casket and was dressed in a flannel shirt, jeans, and a Compton hat. In at number 4, Prodigy. Prodigy was an American rapper, actor, and author. He was also one half of the hip-hop duo Mobb Deep with Havoc. He died on June 20th, 2017 at 42 years old from complications related to his sickle cell anemia. For those of you who don't know, sickle cell anemia is a group of inherited red blood cell disorders. Normally cells are disc-shaped, but the disease changes them to a crescent shape. This makes them harder and less flexible than normal red blood cells, so they can get stuck in small blood vessels and block them. This is also pretty painful for whoever has this illness, and causes a weakened immune system and damage to organs. It was also stated in the coroner's report that he died of accidental choking. A few days before his death, he was hospitalized in Las Vegas, Nevada during his art and rap tour. Because he was in the desert, he became dehydrated, which people who have sickle cell anemia are prone to, as well as having a weakened immune system. It was a bad combination of events. Prodigy actually addressed his battle with this disease in a song called You Can Never Feel My Pain. At number 3, Tupac. Tupac was an American rapper and actor. He was shot on September 7, 1996 in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas, Nevada. He was struck by 4.40 caliber rounds, twice in the chest, once in the arm, and once in the thigh. He was rushed to the hospital but died from his wounds 6 days later on September 13th. He was just 25 years old at the time. Tupac was an amazing artist and performer and managed to sell over 75 million records worldwide, which made him one of the best-selling music artists of all time. Now when it comes to the killer, there have been a few clues that came in. Also, it's suspected that many people know who did it, but no one is talking in fear of being killed themselves. For example, that night Tupac was riding with the head of Death Row Records, Suge Knight. They went to the MGM Grand to watch a boxing match. When they exited the venue, one of Knight's associates spotted Orlando Baby Lane Anderson, a Crips gang member from the Compton, in the MGM Grand lobby, so he's suspected to be involved. A year following the shooting, Knight stated during an interview that he did not know who had shot Tupac, but would never tell officers if he did. Then there's also the conspiracy theory where Tupac isn't even dead, as people keep apparently spotting him places. Another suspect in this case is fellow rapper The Notorious B.I.G., but he denied any involvement. Then 6 months later, Biggie was also fatally shot in a drive-by shooting. Speaking of which, coming in at number 2, The Notorious B.I.G. Biggie was an American rapper who was killed on March 9th, 1997 at just 24 years old. He was involved in a drive-by shooting in LA. At that time, he was in an SUV and was shot 4 times. Only one of the shots was fatal. He was considered by many people to be one of the best rappers of all time. When the shooting took place, there were a lot of witnesses, and this ended up turning into a huge media frenzy. There was also a lot of speculation of who shot Biggie, but no one was ever formally charged for the murder. The case is still unsolved to this day. Some years passed, then in 2006, Biggie's mom, his widow, and his children filed a $500 million wrongful death lawsuit against the Los Angeles Police Department. They were alleging that some corrupt officers were responsible for his murder. This is when Greg Kading stepped forward. He was a retired LAPD officer who claimed that the head of Death Row Records, Suge Knight, hired a fellow Blood gang member named Poochie to murder Biggie for $13,000. But back in 2003, Poochie himself was killed in a drive-by shooting by rival gang members, so this theory was never proven. Coming in at our number 1 spot, XXXTentacion. XXXTentacion was a 20-year-old American rapper who was killed at gunpoint on June 18th of this year. He was out shopping for motorcycles in Florida when this happened. At the time, he was in his car when an eyewitness claimed a gunman came up and shot him. The police were called as he appeared lifeless and with no pulse. He was taken to the hospital as a level 1 trauma patient and was pronounced dead shortly after making it to the hospital. The killers took off with his Louis Vuitton bag. A 22-year-old tattoo artist named Dedrick Devonshea Williams has been arrested for the murder of the rapper. He was charged with first-degree murder and a probation violation. At the time, he was on probation for auto theft. The rapper made headlines over the years for making great music. However, he was also in the headlines for having a violent temper, beating and threatening to kill his pregnant girlfriend, and going to jail. However, it should be noted before he died, he was trying to get on the right path. He was involving himself in charity work, he was donating things such as clothes, shoes, and PS4s to underprivileged kids, he wanted to get his GED, and he pledged to donate $100,000 to domestic violence prevention programs. He also admitted what he did to his ex was wrong. Obviously, there's never an excuse to put your hands on anybody, and nothing can really make up for that. But he was doing what he could and was trying to stop the cycle of his violent behavior. Alright, and it's that time of the video where I'm going to answer your questions and read comments, so let's get started. These questions and comments are from our top 5 creepy kid TV show video. Jelly Bob Game Z said, question, would you ever mention me in a video? By the way, my name is Roman. Hello Roman, thank you so much for being a part of our YouTube family and watching the videos, we appreciate it. Next, Waterfall MSP said, what the hell were they doing in the intro? Yeah, I know, right? That's some pretty messed up stuff. Next, Sierra Sway Weil said, some of them are okay, some are very creepy. I also seen You Are Afraid of the Dark and it scares me. We've gotten a pretty good response from this video, so I wouldn't be surprised if you see a part 2 in the near future. Next, Marky G55 said, well, I'm not going to sleep. Yeah, sorry about that, but I'm glad you found our scary list scary. Next, Infinite Games said, you're the best. Well, thank you very much, I feel the same way about you. Next, Aristanik said, Nickelodeon has some messed up stuff. Yes, they do. It's gotten more chill over the years though. They've also came out with good shows like Rugrats, Doug, Drake and Josh, all that, The Amanda Show. So yeah, they weren't all that bad. But there you have it, that's a list of the top 5 rappers who passed away too soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you leave those questions down below so you can be featured in an upcoming video, and I will catch you guys in the next one.